Good evening. Good evening and welcome to Eastern Kentucky University Spring 2013 Commencement Exercises. In this ceremony, we honor degree candidates in the College of Business and Technology and the College of Education, as well as our College of Arts and Sciences, Health Sciences, and Justice and Safety. Please rise for the presentation of the national colors and remain standing and join Dr. Joyce Wolfe, accompanied by Dr. Richard Crosby, in the singing of our national anthem. And please remain standing as our university singers, under the direction of Dr. Richard Waters, perform My Old Kentucky Home. You may then be seated, and the university singers will then present a second selection entitled This Is the Day.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
rejoice and be glad. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Give thanks to the Lord. His mercy endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord. His mercy endures forever. This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad.
Well, good evening and welcome. I'm Craig Turner, Chair of the Eastern Kentucky University Board of Regents. Graduates, there are many exciting and pivotal milestones in your life. I believe that you will find your college graduation will be one of the most important. Your successful completion of a college degree exemplifies a dedication and commitment to continued learning and a desire to teach and excel in your chosen field. It provides the foundation for a lifetime of academic achievement and success. As a fellow EKU graduate, may I join your friends and your family to say how very proud we are of you, what you have already accomplished, and yet you have a very bright future awaits. Today, I have the privilege to honor President Charles Douglas Whitlock. This is the storybook ending to the great American dream. A hometown boy studies hard, works tirelessly, and climbs the ladder of success over 40 years, ultimately becoming the president of his beloved university. Doug attended elementary and high school here in Richmond. He proudly came to EKU, served as the editor of the campus newspaper, and earned his undergraduate and his master's in 1965 and 1966. He later added his doctorate degree from the University of Kentucky. He joined EKU in 1968 as the Director of Publications and subsequently worked in several administrative, teaching, and leadership roles. Throughout a very distinguished career that spanned 6 decades, he had the unique privilege of serving 5 of the other 10 presidents of this great university. Then in 2007, Doug was inducted as the university's 11th president. Under his leadership as president, numerous honors have come to the university. These include a ranking by Forbes magazine among the top 10% of America's best colleges for the past 5 years. 2 national #1 rankings in the Best for Vets survey by Military Times Edge magazine, and many more. Also during his tenure, the campus has added a new science building, the Center for the Arts, the Knoll Studio for Academic Creativity, the Center for Renewable and Alternative Fuel Technologies, and the first 3 doctoral degree programs in the university's history. Just last week, in honor of his commitment to student success, the Board of Regents approved naming the Student Success Building the Charles Douglas Whitlock Building, a richly deserved tribute. So on behalf of On behalf of Eastern Kentucky University Board of Regents, its faculty, and its staff, it's my privilege to honor and bestow upon Charles Douglas Whitlock the title of President Emeritus of Eastern Kentucky University. I'm pleased to present this framed resolution that documents some of the reasons why he has earned this distinction. Doug, thank you for all you have done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. I am honored and humbled by the board's actions, and must say that the opportunity to serve Eastern for the last 6 years has been both personally and professionally fulfilling. Parents, families, and friends, members of the Board of Regents, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, thank you for joining us today to celebrate this with our spring graduates, this milestone in their lives. In the 3 ceremonies today combined, we are formally conferring 1,806 bachelor's degrees, 479 master's degrees, 106 associate degrees, 10 specialist degrees, and 6 doctoral degrees, for a total of 2,407. These degree candidates include many who have achieved academic distinction. We're proud of all of those who are graduating with honors, but I will recognize at this time 3 groups in particular. Would all of those who are graduating this evening from our nationally prominent honors program as honors scholars please stand? Would all of those who are graduating summa cum laude with a 3.9 GPA or higher please stand? And now, would all of those graduates who are members of EKU's highest multidisciplinary honor society, Phi Kappa Phi, please stand? Again, congratulations not only to those 3 groups, but to all those who are graduating with honors this evening. Throughout her 107-year history, Eastern Kentucky University has been known as a school of opportunity, and we are proud of that distinction. I'm pleased to acknowledge this evening the many first-generation college graduates who are earning a degree. This means that neither their parents nor anyone in any earlier generation of their families was a college graduate. Will all the candidates for degrees who are the first generation in their family to earn a college diploma please stand? Thank you. Commencement is also a time we can recognize the many others who have contributed to the success of these candidates with resources, encouragement, occasional tough love, constant tender love, and understanding. I ask the following to stand as you're presented and to remain standing so that we may welcome and honor you as a group. Will the parents of the candidates for graduation please stand? Will the spouses, will the husbands and wives, significant others of the candidates please stand? Will the grandparents of the candidates please stand? Will children and other family members of the candidates please stand? And will the outstanding faculty and staff who have instructed and served these students please stand? Degree candidates, please join me in showing your appreciation for these very important people in your lives with a generous round of applause. I will recognize some special individuals here on the platform. First, First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama. Thank you. Thank you for honoring Eastern Kentucky University and honoring our graduates, and for help making what's my last commencement a truly memorable one. I'm also delighted to recognize for your greeting the Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Honorable Steve Beshear, and his wife, Jane Beshear. Please help me in recognizing members of our Board of Regents who have joined us this evening. Will each regent please stand when presented and remain standing? Craig Turner, Chair of the Board from Lexington. Ernie House, Vice Chair of the Board from London. Gary Abney from Richmond. Nancy Collins from Hazard. Janet Craig from Lexington. Janie Miller from Shelbyville. David Tandy from Louisville. Faculty Regent Dr. Amy Thiem from Berea. Staff Regent and Secretary of the Board Stephen Fulkerson from Richmond. And Madeline Street, Student Regent from Richmond, who graduated at our afternoon ceremony. Please greet these members of our board. One of the true hallmarks of Eastern Kentucky University is our commitment to teaching excellence. We are indeed blessed with many outstanding faculty members, talented educators who are dedicated to the success of our students. We're seeing the fruits of their efforts here today. The EKU Foundation Professorship is the highest university award a faculty member can receive. An EKU Foundation professor is recognized as having achieved a truly outstanding record of performance in the three primary roles of a faculty member: teaching, service, and scholarship. Our EKU Foundation professor for 2013-15, Dr. Alan D. Engel, a professor of management and marketing and international business, has succeeded in all of those roles and embodies the best qualities of his profession and of this university. Dr. Engel, who earned his bachelor and master's degree from Eastern, joined his alma mater's faculty in 1989. A prolific writer and presenter, he has taught at universities throughout Europe in his specialty area of international human resources. Most notably, he was selected to serve as a visiting professor of international management for the European Executive MBA program in Berlin, Germany, from 2007 through this year. Here at home, Dr. Engel has served as advisor of EKU's student chapter of the Society for Human Resource Management for the past 12 years and was honored by the Bluegrass Compensation Association with a student scholarship that bears his name. Dr. Engel's family roots run deep at Eastern. He follows his grandfather, Dr. Fred Engel, and father, Dr. Fred Engel Jr., as members of our faculty. What a terrific model Dr. Engel has been for students and colleagues alike throughout his tenure. Ladies and gentlemen, EKU Foundation Professor for 2013-15, Dr. Alan Engel. Almost 30% of our graduates are transfer students, and many come to us from Kentucky's excellent system of community and technical colleges. We are continually partnering with these fine institutions to meet the educational needs of Kentuckians, and we thank them for sending us such outstanding students. Our graduates this evening have come to us from more than 10 different community and technical colleges. We're honored any time that representatives from our partner institutions can join us. I will recognize at this time Dr. Wheeler Conover, representing Southeast Community and Technical College, and Larry Kelly, representing Elizabethtown Community and Technical College. Dr. Claire Good, our interim vice president for student affairs, will now introduce our student speaker.
Each semester, a member of the graduating class is selected for the honor of presenting a student commencement address. This evening, that honor belongs to Candace Mobberly of Berea, who is graduating magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in communication disorders. Sharing in Candace's special day today are her parents, Todd and Cindy Mobberly, who, by the way, are both EKU alumni, and her sister, Chelsea Mobberly. I know they are all proud of Candace, as are we. It is my pleasure and privilege now to introduce the student speaker for this evening's commencement program, Candace Mobberly.
Good evening, everyone. President Whitlock, members of the Board of Regents, United States First Lady Michelle Obama, Governor Beshear, Kentucky First Lady Jane Beshear, other distinguished guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, and my fellow graduates. Life truly is a highway. Today, we recognize a day that has been long in the making for all of us. However, we have all taken different roads and avenues to arrive at this place. Some of us chose the interstate, both figuratively and literally, by taking the most frequently traveled path. Some of us arrived at EKU straight out of high school and have been lucky enough to stay in the fast lane and graduate more or less in 4 years. For others of us who took the back roads, it has taken a little longer. However, we are all here today to celebrate the fact that we endured long days, nights, and weekends on this journey, and we have finally arrived at this very special time and place. I, for one, did not take a straight shot to EKU. I took a slight detour as I started my college years at a little place down the road. However, I firmly believe that transferring to EKU was one of the best decisions I have ever made. I initially rejected the family tradition, as I'm a fourth-generation EKU student. I did not want to go to the same school that everyone in my family had attended since my great-grandmother Minerva graduated 102 years ago from what later became EKU. However, it did not take me long to realize that EKU was not just simply a family tradition. It was where I belonged and was part of my extended family. It was then that I truly started to understand the power of Maroon and what it could do for me. As some of you may know, alma mater translates to nurturing mother. EKU has been like a nurturing mother in the passenger seat of my car to me and many of us here today. When I arrived here 3.5 years ago, like many of us, I did not know exactly what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I wasn't sure which exit to take on the clover leaf of majors. My alma mater acted like a navigator and assisted me in arriving at my intended destination. She knew where I needed to be, and she got me there. As a nurturing mother riding shotgun, EKU has kindly nudged us, reminded us to turn here or turn there. For those of us who have changed majors, she has even told us when we needed to make a U-turn. All of the passengers of our car, family members, friends, even professors, have reminded us to take certain detours so that our experience would be more complete. For some of us, that has meant taking side trips with student organizations, such as the Student Government Association, athletic teams, sororities, and fraternities. We were given the opportunity to hear renowned scholars, such as Richard Dawkins and Temple Grandin, as well as musicians, such as Yo-Yo Ma when they visited campus. She also gave us warm spring afternoons in the ravine, late night runs to downstairs Powell, and conversations in Middle Powell that lasted long into the night. These side trips have given us many valuable experiences and memories that will last us for the rest of our lives and serve to enhance the main leg of the journey. Now, we are forced to look to the road ahead of us. While this may be slightly overwhelming, we should take comfort in knowing that we have passengers in our car who will not let us down. Like a nurturing mother, EKU has given us what we need to be successful in the next part of the journey. She has provided us with the opportunity to develop a support system of friends, colleagues, professors, and other members of the EKU family who we can contact when we start to feel lost or lacking direction in the challenges that we will likely face on the professional road. In closing, I recall the words of Mr. Rogers, the beloved television host many of us grew up watching, who once asked, "Well, what is essential about you? And who are those who have helped you become the person that you are?" Mr. Rogers went on to say, anyone who has ever graduated from a college, anyone who has ever been able to sustain a good work, has had at least one person, and often many, who have believed in him or her. We just don't get to be competent human beings without a lot of different investments from others. No matter how difficult the challenge might seem, we should never, ever forget how well EKU has prepared us, and we should find solace in remembering that we will not be traveling alone. Congratulations to the class of 2013, and I wish you all the best on the rest of your journey, and let us never forget, you really can get there from here.
Thank you, Candace. Each year I have the privilege of presenting the President's Outstanding Senior Award. Each academic college, the Office of Student Affairs, and the International Alumni Association nominate individuals for this award. It is based on scholarship, leadership, and service to both campus and community. Each recipient receives a plaque and a well-deserved $1,000 stipend. We were richly blessed this year with some outstanding candidates, but none more richly deserving than Christina Hammond. Christina is from Frankfurt, and she has clearly excelled in the areas of scholarship, leadership, and service. This past year, she served as editor-in-chief of the student-produced weekly newspaper, The Eastern Progress. She graduates magna cum laude today with a bachelor's degree in journalism. She has served this year as president of the campus chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists and completed her 4th year as a member of the EKU dance team. She's a member of the Phi Kappa Phi National Honor Society, the Kappa Tau Alpha Journalism Honor Society, and the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. She has received numerous academic scholarships and awards, including the Outstanding Senior in the College of Business and Technology. In addition to her exemplary scholarship, Christina always made time for community service, lending her time and talents to numerous worthwhile causes. In fact, on 5 different occasions, she has donated a portion of her hair to the Locks of Love program. That's a total of 52 inches of hair. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the President's Outstanding Senior Award, Christina Hammond. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Hudnall will now issue the military oath of office to 14 second lieutenants. They are James Abney, Kelsey Brewer, Joseph Brown, Ethan Conley, Charles Dickerson, Lauren Jackson, Brittany Kalb, Corey Lane, Cody Lassane, Adam Wren, Brittany Rodriguez, Cody Sparks, Nicholas Ulery, and Christian Wamsley.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Christian Wamsley,
Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge. The duties of the office. Upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, lieutenants.
I'm glad our ROTC cadets could be commissioned here this evening because that short and elegant ceremony, repeated every year at our commencement exercises, speaks volumes about Eastern Kentucky University's proud heritage, a legacy not only of outstanding soldiers and officers who first walked these halls as students and ROTC cadets, but also, I am proud to say, a culture of gratitude for those who chose to serve our country. So now, would all of my fellow veterans in the building please stand so we might show you our appreciation. Thank you. And it is because of that commitment to service and to those who have served that I have the privilege and honor to introduce a very special American this evening. It was just a few short weeks ago that we received a call from the White House. It turns out that our concentrated efforts to help veterans pursue their educational dreams and to be a military-friendly campus had caught the eye of none other than the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama. We are profoundly honored to be one of 3 institutions Ms. Obama selected to bring commencement remarks this year. This is the last commencement speaker I'll ever introduce as your president, and I hope you graduates are as thrilled as I am to go out on such a high note. Long before Mrs. Obama was a wife, mother, and public service or First Lady, she was Fraser and Marion Robinson's daughter, growing up in a brick bungalow on the south side of Chicago. Her dad was a pump operator for the Chicago Water Department, her mother a stay-at-home mom. A product of Chicago Public Schools, she pursued sociology and African American studies at Princeton University before going on to earn a law degree from Harvard. It was at the Chicago law firm of Sidley and Austin that she met the man who would later become the love of her life, and much later, the President of the United States, Barack Obama. A few years later, she began serving as Assistant Commissioner of Planning and Development for the city of Chicago, and then became the founding Executive Director of the Chicago chapter of Public Allies, an AmeriCorps program that prepares youth for public service. In 1996, she joined the University of Chicago with a vision of bringing campus and community together. As Associate Dean of Student Services, she developed the university's first community service program, and under her leadership as Vice President of Community and External Affairs for the university's medical center, volunteerism skyrocketed. A few years later, she carried that same commitment to meeting needs and serving others in the White House. In 2010, the First Lady launched Let's Move, a national campaign to tackle the challenge of childhood obesity. Then in 2011, Mrs. Obama and Dr. Jill Biden, wife of our Vice President, launched Joining Forces, a nationwide initiative to raise awareness of military families' unique needs pertaining to employment, education, and wellness. It is that passion that leads her to grace our stage here today. We're delighted and honored that she could join us to share her wisdom with our graduates. It gives me great pleasure now to present the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, with honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters. Mrs. Obama and Provost Vice, please join me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce Michelle Obama, a First Lady whose life and service as attorney, public service, educator, wife, and mother have earned her the admiration and appreciation of a nation, a builder of community with a passion for military families and veterans, and a role model whom Eastern Kentucky University is honored to recognize today.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, good evening. Thank you. I am just overwhelmed. And as an honorary degree holder, it is now my pleasure to say, go Colonels! I want to start by thanking President Whitlock for that very kind introduction, but more importantly for his decades of service to this university and to this country. And it is my honor to be here on your last commitment. And I also want to thank your wife and your family because I know that they have served right along with you. So congratulations. I'm so glad to be here today. I also want to recognize Governor Beshear and his wife and dear friend of ours, Jane, as well as Richmond Mayor Jim Barnes, who's here. all of the elected officials we have with us tonight, also the university singers for those beautiful selections, just gifted individuals. And I don't want to leave out Candace for her very inspiring remarks, and to the 14 men and women who just became the newest officers in the United States Army. Yes. And of course, I want to join in recognizing all of these beautiful people in the stands today, the family members who supported you all every step of the way. And since tomorrow is what? I'm sure everybody's on their jobs, right? Got flowers ordered and everything. I want to give a special greeting to my fellow moms and congratulate you for successfully coming out on the other side of adolescence in one piece. You have done it. You have succeeded in raising college graduates. I welcome any advice you have on how you got it right. But most of all, yes indeed, to the moms and the grandmoms and the godmoms and all the mom figures in our lives who keep us going, thank you all. But most of all, I want to congratulate the stars of today's show, the EKU class of 2013. Yes! You all should be proud, very proud. As the president said, this is a true milestone in life. And I can only imagine the mix of emotions that you must be feeling at this moment. The unbridled joy, the unmistakable sense of utter relief. You all went through so much to make it to this day. The highs and the lows, the triumphs, the challenges, the celebrations, the devastations. And I'm not just talking about your love lives either. I am talking about all those papers you poured your heart into, all those caffeine-fueled all-nighters, those moments of anxiety as you set out on your own, looking to find new friends you clicked with and a new community to call your own. And for so many of you, I know that graduating from college was not a foregone conclusion. Some of you came from high schools that don't send a lot of kids to college. Some of you had to work full time so that you could not only pay for your degree, but also support your family. And so many of you, as I have seen, are first in your families to graduate from college. So I know you faced all kinds of doubts and uncertainties when you first showed up on this campus. And I know a little bit about that from my own experiences. As you've heard, my parents were working folks who never earned a degree past high school. They didn't have a lot of money. So sending me and my brother to school was a huge sacrifice for them. The vast majority of our tuition came from loans and grants. But let me tell you, every month, my father would write out his small check. He was determined to pay his portion of that tuition right on time, even if it meant taking out loans when he fell short. See, what our parents had to offer us was a whole lot of love. And while we could always call home and talk through the ups and downs of our lives with our parents, the truth is they couldn't give us a lot more than that. They couldn't give us a lot of guidance when it came to choosing classes and professors or finding internships and jobs. So when I first set foot on college, my campus, it was all a bit of a mystery to me. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I couldn't shake the voices from some of the people at my high school who told me that I could never make it at the school I'd chosen. See, when I first set foot on campus, it all seemed so big and overwhelming. I didn't even know where to start, how to pick out the right classes, how to even find the right buildings. So I began to think that maybe all those doubters might have been right. I didn't even know how to furnish my own dorm room. I saw all these other kids moving in all sorts of couches and lamps and decorations for their rooms, but when I unpacked my belongings, I realized that I didn't even have the right size sheets for my bed. Mine were way too short. So that first night, I stretched the sheets down as far as they could go, then I draped the covers over the foot of my bed, so when I crawled into bed, my legs were sticking out past the sheets, rubbing up against that cold plastic mattress. And I slept that way for the entire freshman year. But when you come from a family like mine, that's what you do. You make the most of what you got. Yeah, you use all that good common sense, and you don't make excuses. You work hard, and you always finish what you start. And no matter what, you give everybody a fair shake. And when somebody needs a hand, you offer yours. See, those are the gifts my parents gave me, their values. And I quickly learned that those gifts were far more valuable than money or connections. Because once I got to college, I found that when I applied all those values to my studies, I was able to develop an entirely new set of skills that I would use for the rest of my life. Skills like resilience, problem solving, time management. I learned to turn stumbles and missteps into sources of motivation. A week with 3 tests and 2 papers wasn't a reason to stress out, but a reason to plan. A negative comment from a professor in class wasn't a reason to shut down, but a reason to ask even more questions. Most importantly, I realized that what really mattered wasn't how much money my parents made or what those people in my high school said about me. What mattered was what was in my mind and what was in my heart. So my 4 years in school gave me the confidence to know that if I could make it on a college campus, I could make it anywhere. So graduates, this day is huge for kids like us. It's huge. So you should be incredibly proud. And I hope that you never lose sight of what brought you to this day. Those values that you came here with, and those skills and talents you developed while you were here. Because when you pair those 2 things together, you will be prepared for whatever comes next, whatever comes next. And that brings me to an important question. What does come next? Now, as I thought about the journey you all are about to embark upon, it reminded me of a conversation I had with my daughter, Malia. She's my oldest. And this conversation we had when she was 10 years old. We were talking about college and her future, and I told her, I always tell my kids, I said, once you graduate from college, you cannot come back home. Cannot. Now, of course I was joking, but I still don't want her to know that. But her response, she took it in, was one I will never forget. She said, well, Mom, where do you go after college? She said, I mean literally the day after you graduate. She said, because you're not in school and you can't come home, so where do you go? Now, I hope that all of you have an answer for that question today, and hopefully nobody's sleeping out in the ravine. But I think there was also something profound about her question. Where are you going to go? And so today, in the spirit of my daughter's question, I want to pose a few questions of my own as you begin the next chapter of your lives. And my first question is, who are you going to be? And if you'll notice, I'm not asking what are you going to do, but who are you going to be? I'm asking you about how you plan to live your life every day. How are you going to respond when you don't get that job you had your heart set on? For all of you who are going to be teachers, what are you going to do if the students in your class next year just don't respond to your lessons? For all of you going into business, how will you react when your boss gives you a goal that feels way too high? See, these are the moments that define us. Not the day you get the promotion, not the day you win Teacher of the Year, but the times that force you to claw and scratch and fight just to get through the day. The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. See, those are the times when you've got to ask yourself, who am I going to be? And I want to be clear, this isn't just some vague platitude about building character. In recent years, we've actually been seeing a growing body of research that shows that skills like resilience and conscientiousness can be just as important to your success as your test scores or even your IQ. For instance, West Point cadets who scored high on things like grit and determination were more likely to complete basic training than those who ranked high on things like class rank, SAT scores, and physical fitness. So what we're seeing is that if you're willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick yourself up when you fall, if you're willing to work and work until your weaknesses become your strengths, then you'll develop a set of skills that you can mold and apply to any situation you encounter, any job you might have, any crisis you might confront. But you gotta make that choice. Who are you gonna be? And then once you answer that question, I want you to answer a second question, and that is, how are you going to take those skills and experiences that you've gained and use them to serve others? See, here at Eastern, you have an extraordinary culture of service. Many of you spent your spring break volunteering in places like New Orleans and Washington, D.C. Your journalism society donated all the money they'd raised for a trip to a regional conference to a newspaper that had been hit by a tornado. Altogether, EKU students volunteered 107,000 hours of service, earning you a place on my husband, the President's Higher Education Community Service Honor Roll. Absolutely. Absolutely. And on top of all of that, you have also given back to our country by opening your arms and welcoming our nation's veterans into your community. And everyone here is involved in that, everyone. The administration awards college credit for military experience. Faculty members reach out to veterans in their classrooms. Students donate to the Veterans Book Exchange every semester. So it is no wonder that 2 out of the last 3 years, Military Times Edge magazine has named you the nation's #1 four-year school for our veterans. So you all should be very proud of this community. But graduates, you can't stop serving once you leave here. Whether you've worn our country's uniform or not, we're all called to serve and to give back to those around us. And you don't have to travel across the globe or even across the country to find ways to serve. All you have to do is take a look around your own community. Are there kids in your neighborhood who could use a mentor? Can you volunteer with an organization that serves military families? Can you pick up a few extra cans of vegetables and donate them to a food bank? I mean, these things may seem so small, but they really make a difference. Because when you've worked hard and done well, as I said, the least you can do is reach back and give a hand to somebody else who could use that help. We can all find a way to open our arms and welcome folks around us into our lives and our communities. And that leads me to my third question. Who are you going to include in your life? The EKU Community's outreach to veterans offers part of the answer to this question. Now just imagine what it's like for these veterans to go from combat to campus. Just put yourself in their shoes for 1 second. 1 minute you're wearing a rucksack, carrying a firearm and facing gunfire in the middle of the desert. The next minute you're wearing a backpack, carrying a textbook and hanging out at Powell Corner. Your friends from the platoon are scattered across the country. Most of the people you see on a day-to-day basis have never experienced and could never imagine the things you've experienced. It would be so easy to feel isolated, like no one understands, like you're an outsider. But here at Eastern, you didn't let that happen. Instead, you reached out to these men and women. You made sure they felt comfortable and welcomed, and you have seen that your community has become even stronger, even more vibrant because of these men and women, because they are part of this community. So graduates, think about how this will apply to your own lives in the future. As you move on, you're gonna come across all kinds of people from all different places and faiths and walks of life. And you can choose to pass them by without a word, or you can choose to reach out to them, no matter who they are or where they come from or what ideas they might have. That's what's always made this country great. Embracing the diversity of experience and opinion that surrounds us everywhere we go. So I encourage you all, seek it out. Don't just spend time with people your own age. Go to the local senior center and talk with folks who have a little life experience under their belts. You would be amazed at the wisdom they have to offer. Try visiting a different congregation every once in a while. You might just hear something in that sermon that stays with you. If you're a Democrat, spend some time talking to a Republican. And if you're a Republican, have a chat with a Democrat. Maybe you'll find some common ground, maybe you won't. But if you honestly engage with an open mind and an open heart, I guarantee you will learn something. And goodness knows, we need more of that, because we know what happens when we only talk to people who think like we do. We just get more stuck in our ways, more divided, and it gets harder to come together for a common purpose. But here's the thing, graduates, as young people, you can get past all that. You've got the freedom of an open mind. And thanks to today's technology, you're connected to each other and to the world like never before. So you can either choose to use those opportunities to continue fighting the fights that we've been locked in for decades, or you can choose to reject those old divisions and embrace folks with a different point of view. And if you do that, the latter, who knows where it might take you? More importantly, where it might take our country. So, those are my 3 questions. Who do you want to be? How will you serve others? And who will you include in your lives? And let me just share just a little secret before I end. As someone who has hired and managed hundreds of young people over the course of my career, the answers to those questions, believe me, are far more important than you can ever imagine. Whether it was during my time as a lawyer, as an administrator, as a university, a nonprofit manager, even now as First Lady, I have never once asked someone I was interviewing to explain a test score or a grade in a class. Never. I have never once made a hire just because someone went to an Ivy League school instead of a state school. Never. What I have looked for is what kind of person you are. Are you a hard worker? Are you reliable? Are you open to other viewpoints? Have you stepped outside of your own self-interest to serve others? Have you found a way to serve our country, whether in uniform or in your community? Again and again, I have seen that those are the qualities that I want on my team, because those are the qualities that move our businesses and schools and our entire country forward. And just understand this. Those are the qualities that you all already embody. They're the values you learned from your parents, from the communities you grew up in. They are the skills you developed here at EKU as you worked so hard to make it to this day. And today, more than ever before, that's what the world needs. We need more people like you. So after you've come this far, After all of the ups and downs, I hope that it is no longer a question of whether or not you can make it in this world, but how and where you're going to make your mark. And that brings me back to Malia's original question. Where are you going to go? Graduates of this university have gone on to become generals in our military, some of our nation's best CEOs and educators and law enforcement officers. Let me tell you, Abraham Lincoln was a Kentucky kid. So were Muhammad Ali, George Clooney, Diane Sawyer. So graduates, make no mistake, you can go anywhere you choose. So be proud and never, ever doubt yourselves. Walk boldly on that road ahead, no matter where it takes you. And please, spread those values everywhere you go. We need it more than ever before. So congratulations again, graduates. It has been a true pleasure. Best of luck on the road ahead. I love you all.
Our provost, Jana Weiss, will now proceed with the formal conferring of degrees to our graduates.
President Whitlock, the deans of the colleges will join me in presenting the candidates for the graduate and undergraduate degrees. Dean Jerry Pogachnik will present candidates for the master's degrees from the Colleges of Business and Technology and Education.
Will the candidates for the following degrees please stand and remain standing? Master of Arts, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science, and Doctor of Education. President Whitlock, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees and have been approved by the faculty. I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Dr. John Wade, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, will present candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Health Sciences.
Will the candidates for degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences please stand and remain standing? Now, will the candidates for degrees in the College of Health Sciences please stand and remain standing? President Whitlock, these candidates have met all the requirements of their degrees and have been approved by the faculty. I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Dr. Robert Rogow, Dean of the College of Business and Technology, will present the candidates from the College of Business and Technology.
Will the candidates for degrees in the College of Business and Technology please stand and remain standing? President Whitlock, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees and have been approved by the faculty. I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Dean Bill Phillips will present candidates from the College of Education.
Will the candidates for the degree in College of Education please stand and remain standing? Dr. Whitlock, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees and have been approved by the faculty. I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Dean Alan Alt will present candidates from the College of Justice and Safety.
Will the candidates for degrees in the College of Justice and Safety please stand and remain standing? President Whitlock, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees and have been approved by the faculty. I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
President Whitlock, these candidates have met all of the requirements for their respective degrees and have been approved by the faculty. The deans and I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Candidates, the long anticipated hour has come. You are here with family and loved ones looking on. The faculty and officers of the university are gathered in witness and testimony to your conduct and purpose. Therefore, by virtue of the authority granted me by the Board of Regents of Eastern Kentucky University, and with the faculty's recommendation, it is now my pleasure to confer upon each of you the appropriate degree, the requirements of which you have fulfilled, and do hereby vest each of you with the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree, your diploma confirmed and acknowledged by the Great Seal of the university. Please be seated. Will the honorary faculty advisors please escort the degree candidates to the stage? Mr. Rich Middleton will read the names of the graduates. This is both a solemn and joyous occasion. As names are called, I ask each of you to show the decorum the dignity of the occasion warrants. In this way, each graduate can receive the recognition he or she deserves. Thank you.
College of Education, Doctor of Education, Jonathan Patrick Healy. Tamara Janelle Jones. Sylvia Michelle Jones. Elizabeth Mary Hoskins. Charity Noel Holbrook. Shamika L. Gill. Olivia Jean Higdon. Hillary Hatfield. Lindsay Michelle Hartman. Shelley A. Harkless. Ashley Michelle Hall. Kendra D. Cole. Beth Ann Clayton. Marcy Lynn Samaritan Casey. Meredith Lee Burrows. Ashlyn Brooke Adams. Annie J. Belding. Master of Arts, Allison L. Smock. Renee M. Russell. Lainey Nicole Miller. Amanda J. Lawrence. Anthony E. Jones, Jr. Shayna L. Goggins. Christine Ann Gildersleeve. Jennifer L. Ike. Joseph Scott Armstrong. Master of Arts in Teaching, Lee Nicole Anderson. Britta S. Brigman. Christopher Wayne Kinsel. Michael E. Phelps. Brad E. White. Brittany Sloan Walker. Sarah Taylor Vanover. Beth Ann Sloan. Bryce William Robinson. William D. Robbins II. Kimberly Jean Pryor. Amy N. Nypaver. Ashley C. Newman. Ariel Daniela Moses. Michelle Ashley McCrory. Ashley Nicole Logan. Ashley D. Kennerly. College of Business and Technology, Master of Business Administration, Martin Adama. Alyssa Ray Alexander. Elizabeth Ann Ballou. Lauren Summer Campbell. Tishana Leopold Chiwandamera. Sarah A. Feltus. Rachel Tinell Gaffney. Hilda Chepkori Capello. Alexandra Ray Krallman. Sarah Riney Malotra. Majel Miller. Vong Ming Nguyen. Jacob Peter Schneider. Jeremiah Lee Sissel. Haley Dawn Smith. Heather L. Tudor. Jonathan Brendan Vaughn. Master of Science, Tim Anderson. Mandy Nicole Epley. Stefan G. Morgan. Sharon Marie Foster. Michael Cody Stevely. College of Business and Technology, Bachelor of Art. Matthew Chad Gordon. Aaron Lucas Soul. Brandon David Schinkel. Kevin Austin Anders, cum laude. Tyler Wayne Goodridge. Trenton Keith Robinson. George Chase Green. William Duke McClellan. Jade Jordan Miles. Diamond Esprit Benjamin. Ashley Nicole Offit. Whitney Dawn Allen. Michael Allen Mattingly. Andrew Joshua Couch. Donita Audrey Atwood. Rebecca Lee Nadinger. Genevieve Lillian McSpirit Alas. Kristen Caitlin Hendricks. Jessica Aubrey Snyder, cum laude. Dina Leanne McBeath. Stephanie Joanne Hayes. Jessica Ashley Curran. Samantha Marie Toman. Jake B. Bishop. Megan Nicole Perrin. Jamie Leanne Ware. Caitlin Nicole Forsyth. Carrie Morgan Trettina, magna cum laude. Seth Michael Littrell. Adam Blake Holder Turner, summa cum laude. Kyle Shane Woosley. Zachary Chase Thompson, summa cum laude. Brent David Billings. Spencer Blake Barrett. Nicholas Kyle Brock. Samantha Marie Estes. Jennifer Lou Tincher. Andrea Lee Walker. Alexander R. Butler. Sarah Elizabeth Conley. Courtney Lee Norvell, cum laude. Sarah Beth Kaufman, summa cum laude. Brandon Tyler Holbrook. Christopher Matthew Ambergy, cum laude. Elizabeth Evan Latimer. Michelle Lee Myers. Kirsty Page Wilder. Christina Ruth Hammond, magna cum laude. Adam Stewart Wilson. James W. Arnold. Jared Thomas Bickle. Michael Lee Carnevale. Stuart Mitchell Miles. Zachary Allen Conley. Christopher L. Cheek. Kristen Alicia Barner. Barry James Meadows. Deshaun Arsenio Sands. Tina Reyna Cobb Morgan. Natasha Denise Downey. Kenna Lee Trent, magna cum laude. Mosa Kumoli. Bachelor of Business Administration, Jessica Lynn Hunt. Robin Millie Say Grider. Catherine Marie Lindsay. Lydia Hope Taylor. Kyle Wayne Curtis. Spencer Allen Boots. William Gray Markham. Ryan C. Lay. Matthew Wayne Robertson, magna cum laude. Wesley Morgan Morales. Johnny R. Keaton. Shelby Elaine McNabb, cum laude. Brittany Dean Neves, summa cum laude. Jennifer Marie Carnicelli. Christian Paul Wamsley, cum laude. Lauren Jean Jackson. Brandy Christine Stevens. Rebecca Jeanette Gubalt. Kayla Melissa Snodgrass, cum laude. Joshua Eugene Burns. Matthew Scott Vallandingham. Jeremy Crawford Desarn. Emily Marie Gibson. Nicole Sue Seeley. Catherine Lynn Franz, cum laude. Jessica Beth Martin. Kelsey Blake Hawkins. Whitney Nicole Scott. Levi Matthew Begley. Jeffrey Michael Barnhart. Jillian Marie Mulligan. Leslie Ann Huffman. Taja Joe Durand. Jacqueline Alice Dussing. Kayla Sabri Mitchell. Crystal Siobhan Ball. Trung Ming Nyo. Lam An, magna cum laude. Logan Robert Duderstadt, magna cum laude. Tyler Allen Finn. Noah Joseph Kundare, cum laude. Raymond S. Smith. Christopher M. Linton, cum laude. Patrick Philip Runge, summa cum laude. Amjad Khan. Lindsay Michelle Bybee. Mark Daniel Levens. Jillian Radell Bartholomew. Danny Joe Bishop. Jessica Lynn Mueller, magna cum laude. Jessica Lee Jansen. Chelsea Lynn Jansen. David Tillman Akers. Jonathan Paul Sharp. Mark Ryan Tipton. John Anthony Tertulliani. Justin Taylor McDonald. Matthew Ryan Stevens, magna cum laude. Randy Johnson. Micah Moyer Greenslate. Joanne Wilhelm Erickson. Brandon Christopher Ferris. Caleb Daniel King. Robert J. Narworld. Natasha Alexandra Robinson. Mike Christopher DeNuno. Barney Jean Judd. Chelsea Lee Shaver, cum laude. Matthew Lee Tackett. Jan Hendrick Dombrowski. Bradley John Fortuna, cum laude. Daniel Cornelius Jones, summa cum laude. Bachelor of Science. Kathy S. Patel. Blair Whitney Kearns. Andrew Thomas Six. Sean David Evans. Joshua Cody Montgomery. Jamie Nathaniel Caudle. Scott Matthew Lammers Jr. Tracy Marie Maple. Leslie Mead. Marin Ashley Longnecker, magna cum laude. Christina Louise Thomas. Sarah Catherine Smith. Thomas Ryan Amaral. Craig Jonathan Farwick. Anthony Kern Vault Jr. Jared Kirkpatrick, cum laude. Sarah Bethany Holden, summa cum laude. Wesley Winston Werner Nelson, magna cum laude. Jessica Dawn Jenkins, magna cum laude. Brooke Ann Fett. Philip D. Berry. Nicholas Ryan Elliott. Cody Joseph Lassane, cum laude. Clinton Stephen Bowles. William Kennedy Morrell. Duncan Kirkpatrick Lindsay. Adam Christopher Reese. Kayla Donnellan Henson. Robert David Meister. Annie B. Flaherty. Courtney Brianne Nicole Winkler. Stephen Wayne Graham. Obed Otachi. Ashley Brooke Wilson. Matthew Clay Beto. Sarah Elizabeth Rogers. Damon Miller Lee Reed. Scott Thomas Benjamin. Alan McDowell Walters. Deja Eshe Tenen, cum laude. Stephen Andrew White. Jordan C. Terry. Michelle Yasmin O'Day. Daryl E. Janish. Thomas Bradford Clark Jr. Eric Oldham Wickersham. Dustin Michael Schultz. Michael Charles Gruen, magna cum laude. Kimberly Brooke Wolf. Cody Allen Hughes. Clarence A. Roberts Jr. Jeremy Charles Lewis. Kendra Danielle Harrison. Rebecca Tess Booth. Stacy Leanne Thacker, cum laude. Sarah Beth Neumeister. Jimmy Lee Chambers, cum laude. Associate of General Studies, Ashley C. Wilder. Brittany Renee Van Winkle. Associate of Applied Science, Thomas Henry Etherington. Samantha G. Rosa. College of Education, Jessica M. Little. Susan R. Harris. Felicia Wayne McDaniel. Elizabeth Ann Altman, magna cum laude. Alexandria Yvette Jones. Rebecca Lee Lang, cum laude. Lee May Webb. Amy D. Elliott, summa cum laude. Taylor Raylan Luckup, cum laude. Jessica Ann Westerfield. Catherine Elizabeth Rowland, magna cum laude. Carly J. Walton, cum laude. Alexandria Blair Curry. Kayla Christine Powell, cum laude. Beth Nicole Herringer, magna cum laude. Wendy S. Payton, summa cum laude. Kimberly Ann Billiter, magna cum laude. Charis Paige Brandenburg, summa cum laude. Dana Elizabeth Acton. Nicole Marie Bowlings, cum laude. Leandra Kelly Longoria. Jacob Leslie Rose. Natalie Nicole Dubin, cum laude. Christopher Stephen Becker. Jared Houston Crum. Amanda Jane Hale. Whitney Ray Shinnefield. Brianna Jade Jones. Brittany S. Fry. Jacqueline Heather Roth Hostler. Melissa C. Bundy. Jared Ryan Ward, magna cum laude. Megan Jewel Ward, magna cum laude. Erica Shawnee Mills Gibson. Rebecca Meridew Parton, summa cum laude. Rachel Nicole Ballou Gendorf. Katie Jane Collette, cum laude. Allison Lee Owens, cum laude. Chelsea Miranda Smith. Whitney Catherine Howard. Andrea Marie Bame. April Nicole Bolin. Tasha Renee Harris. Destiny Nicole Parsley. Laura Claiborne Moore, magna cum laude. Micah Aaron Jackson. Show off. Candace Faith Marberly, magna cum laude. Aaron Dwayne Asher, magna cum laude. Lindsay Joe Floyd, cum laude. Mackenzie Lee Durham. Breonna Renee Tipton, magna cum laude. James Douglas Dykes. Wendy Elaine Walker, cum laude. Christy K. Sneed, summa cum laude. Megan Brienne Fergie. Holly Danielle DeVary, magna cum laude. Carol Marie Reed, summa cum laude. Rebecca Jane Peterson, magna cum laude. Michelle Ann Butler, magna cum laude. Jennifer Lynn Scott, summa cum laude. Jennifer Philpo. Patrick Bradshaw Fort. Christopher Ray Day, cum laude. Kayla Denise McClure. Jennifer Eden Applegate. Sarah Elizabeth Hood. Tressa Lynette Miller. Whitney Leanne Phillips, summa cum laude. Kristen Ruth Jones. Barry Kevin Stewart. Benjamin James Gabbard, cum laude. Catherine Grace Leppert Downey. Amanda Lynn Bowman. Elizabeth Ann Pelgin, magna cum laude. Holly Ann Fultz. Elizabeth Jordan Shearer, magna cum laude. Catherine Champ. Jessica Denise Harris. Ashley Saylor Thacker. Martha Sam Miles, summa cum laude. Jared Michael Godby. Clinton Mateus Nowicki. Cara Marie Robinson. Christine Elizabeth Koninger, magna cum laude. Desiree Michelle Mayfield. Brittany Kristen Napier, magna cum laude. Matthew Lee Knight. Matthew Bryant Word. Christina Marie Williams. Emily Lynn DeBrock, cum laude. Brittany Lee Belcher. Terabeth Nelson. Patricia Marie Revel. Jennifer Louise Chandler, magna cum laude. Brittany Lee Blair. Taylor Louise Staples, magna cum laude. Caitlin Sue Johnson. Jennifer Shea McIntyre. Megan Ann Bidall. Anna Marie Spurlock. Kristen Nicole Mudd, magna cum laude. Ashley Nicole Sarver Burgess. Amanda Carol Whitney. Allison Jean Faulkner. Kaylee Michelle Norris. Stephanie Nicole Snyder. Kimberly Elaine Baker. Lindsay Michelle Bryant. Rochelle Alexandra Frazier. Aaron Michael Moose, cum laude. Megan Ann Cambron. Lee Renee Stafford, summa cum laude. Sherry Lynn Shower. Sarah Elizabeth Parr. Jennifer Grace Sikorka, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Jo Taylor. Michelle Frances Pfeffer. Jessica May Coley. Brittany Rochelle Cook. Rachel Denise Mitchell, magna cum laude. Kylie Merriman Reed. Melissa Michelle Alshul. Tiffany Ann Casper. Janine Brummett Elliott, magna cum laude. Nora S. Alanzi. Emily Catherine Colvin. Stefani Jo Ray. College of Arts and Sciences, Bachelor of Arts, Matthew Kyle Thacker. Derek Alexander Harris. Andrea Rochelle Dvorak. Rebecca Lynn Cunningham, magna cum laude. Justin Tyler Richardson. College of Justice and Safety, Bachelor of Arts, Casey Allen. John Finley. Bachelor of Science, James Jones II. Jesus Perez. Christopher De Leon. Terrell Turner. Chris Colvin. Stephen Dvorak. Paul Howell. Daniel Tuttle, cum laude. Brittany Kolbflesh. Ethan Conley. Charles Dickerson. Brittany Rodriguez. Joseph Allen Brown, cum laude. And James Harlan Abney.
Graduates, the time is at hand. If you've not already done so, please move your tassels from right to left. Alumni are very important in the life of a university, and we are very fortunate here at Eastern to have the loyal support of more than 135,000 alumni. I now present Tanya Tarvin Crum, President of our International Alumni Association, and ask her to offer words of greeting to our newest alumni.
Thank you, President Whitlock. This evening, graduates, you are joining a very special group of individuals, men and women from all over the world who have brought great honor to this institution by distinguishing themselves in their careers and in their communities. Much like President Whitlock has, as he has honored our institution with his dedication and leadership. In your time here at EKU, I hope that, in addition to your academics, you have learned the importance of service. It is my hope that as you go into your communities and into the workforce, that you will give back with acts of service, and that when you're settled into your career, you consider giving of your time to Eastern Kentucky University. Being a graduate of this institution always gives me great pride, and I'm telling everyone about the Campus Beautiful. I hope that you will too find the opportunities to share with others about your experiences here. Now, spring 2013 graduates, please stand. By virtue of the degree conferred upon you by the faculty and Board of Regents of Eastern Kentucky University, I hereby declare you to be members of the Eastern Kentucky University International Alumni Association with all the rights and privileges therein. Congratulations and welcome. You may be seated.
Please be seated. Please help me in acknowledging our musicians for tonight's ceremony, Dr. Joyce Wolf and Dr. Richard Crosby, both of our outstanding music faculty. Our banner bearers this evening have been Jonathan Patrick Healy for the Graduate School, Jessica Lynn Hunt for the College of Business and Technology, and Anna Marie Spurlock for the College of Education. Our sign language interpreters for the deaf and hard of hearing are Kiera Beck and Tammy Cantrell. Graduates, I call to your attention and commend to your later reading the charge to the graduating class, which constitutes the last page in your commencement program. This charge was written in 1960 by Dr. Robert R. Martin, the 6th president of Eastern Kentucky University, and the first of its graduates to serve as its president. Now, please indulge me just a moment as I speak to my new brothers and sisters. Over the coming months and years, you will come to know what I and more than 135,000 other EKU graduates have learned. As you collaborate with and compete against graduates from other institutions, including those with brand names, you will soon realize your Eastern education has not left you shortchanged. Our outstanding faculty takes great pride in educating informed critical and creative thinkers who can communicate. Those abilities, combined with your discipline-specific backgrounds, have prepared you for leadership. Remember, this is Eastern Kentucky University, and you can get there from here. Now, for one last time, let us recognize with a hearty round of applause Eastern Kentucky University's newest graduates. Since you are already standing, I will ask you to remain standing for the alma mater, led by Drs. Wolf and Crosby, followed by the recessional. As the recessional begins, please remain standing until the platform party has left the floor. Thank you.
To thee, our alma mater, faithful guide of youth, holding high amid the darkness, duty, light, and truth. Still above the skies attend thee, still thy stately columns stand, still thy sons and daughters love thee, sing thy praises o'er the land. Oh, the earth's resplendent beauty, nature gathered here, rolling lawns and trees and grasses on thy hillsides fair. Happy days within thy shadow, friends and comrades we have won. Fill our hearts with exultation for thy work so nobly done. When beloved alma mater memory should turn again to thee. Still thy lamp is brightly lighting us afar, that we